All right. Sean, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It's always good having you here. I know we had quite a number of conversations at our in-person session yesterday. And I mean, we didn't see you at the dinner, but maybe we'll take that conversation offline. Now, I do remember that at the press briefing, we have started to go into quite a number of these issues that we've heard our experts speak on, in the previous panel. So I'll be posing a few questions to you. And then I'm also receiving from our audience. So you might also want to get ready for those. So I think the first question, considering the discussions that are ongoing and the actions that are following them around ESGs, in your work and the products you push to the market on a consistent basis, what do you feel are the largest or the biggest challenges to sustainability at the moment?
Right. Thank you, Ayo, for that wonderful welcome. It's good to be here again today. We already started to talk about this yesterday, and a lot of panel discussions, and everybody on site yesterday was, it's refreshing to know that sustainability is at the forefront of everything that we're doing, because one of the biggest challenges so far is the awareness and the understanding of it. A lot of people still believe that, sustainability is is for a niche market, or it's for a certain type of class, or, a certain type of people, understanding that it's a global requirement. It is something that touches everyday living. Is something that we have to deal with. And something else that is a challenge is the cost of it, because it is something that it is capital intensive. Many of the changes that the little changes that we do have to make to be more, to live little or to reduce our carbon footprints, many of these things are expensive, in terms of infrastructure, recycling of water, things. These are not things that individuals can do on their own. So the heavy cost of these infrastructure changes, road networks, even like, when you're building roads now, we have to be more conscious of making available like bike paths so that people are driving less and, riding their bikes, things like that are simple changes that we can make, but they're capital intensive.
Okay, I mean, so there's something you just said here now that I think we can expand on, looking at the comments from Jide at Homework in the previous panel. So Jide is of the opinion that it is better, especially in the Nigerian market, to show people the impacts of sustainability features on the final product, rather than just telling them, and we have agreed here implicitly that awareness is critical to, pushing the agenda out. So my question to you now is, as you speak to clients, as you push your products out, what's your experience when you say this product, is sustainability compliant? Does it make it easier to sell? What's that conversation like when you're speaking to your clients?
It does certainly make it easier to sell when you, let me put the caveat there, when you start with telling them, the good of it, okay, yes, you're being green. What does that mean? You have to explain to them, when they first get that understanding that, we're helping the ecosystem, we're reducing our carbon footprint. When they first understand that, and then you show them the ways that you're doing that, for example, in all of our estates that we're developing, we always have like sample units, right? Mm-hmm. So clients can come in. It's not just, you see it on paper that you're buying a 2-bedroom house, for example, right? So you can actually come into the estate, look at a standing 2-bedroom apartment that is furnished and all of that. So they can see, the little changes that we have made, the positioning of the windows, the ventilation, things like that, small changes. And when they are able to buy into these things, when they can see it in real life, then they are more open to the bigger things that you can do, then you can start talking about solar, you can start talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
all the bigger, more expensive things. Then
Mhm.
people are willing, they have a better understanding of it, and they are willing to consider many of those other things. So yes, it makes the conversation easier when they see what you have, what they see like a starting points to it.
Mhm. Okay, so during lunch yesterday, I was with one of our experts. She's been in the industry for well over 25, 30 years, and she raised a question that I think I want to also pose to you because it did get quite a number of us thinking. How does this now affect the choice or the selection of materials, considering just how easy it is to get construction materials here in Nigeria, and then also how does it influence your ability to adhere to current regulatory standards here in Nigeria? So one, choice of materials, and then two, regulatory standards. How does your commitment to sustainability and ESG affect those?
So I think that to answer that, sustainability has to be at the core of what you're doing. It has to come in from the planning stage, from the very beginning of it. Because you cannot just design something and then somewhere along the line you're thinking of what materials would fit into it. So it starts from the planning, it starts from the design, it starts from the development of the product it is that we're trying to even offer. So every design, from the architecture, every design, every layout has to have it has to be at the back of your mind, which is how we already come up with our products anyway. So it's sometimes it's not really about money or the things that we're doing, but it's just being conscious of it, because many times there are little changes that you can do that that can promote sustainability. An example of maybe materials that we're using will be like, recently we started moving from fossil fuel to gas turbine for electricity, for example.
Oh, okay.
That is something that, yeah, a lot of people are not doing it yet, but if that is not already in your mind, in the planning stage of it, then
Planning
it's
stage, I
expensive
agree.
to do the shift. Do you
I
get?
agree.
It's difficult to do the shift after you've already laid, all the pipes for a different type of system. So it's the important thing is for us to have it at the back of our minds at the beginning of the project, in the layout and everything. For example, the Simi Lagos. Simi Lagos is an eco-friendly environment. It's not even up yet. We're still in the planning and development stage, but you can already see, if anybody has seen the brochure, you can already see like the layout of it, where we are trying as little as possible
Yeah.
or as much as possible to not even disturb the green areas. We're not even going to cut down a tree if we don't need to. We're leaving the green part of it so that we are fostering eco living, the sustainability of it. That
Can
is
I interrupt
how.
you there,
Yes.
please? So, how has the experience been working with professionals in Nigeria's real estate industry? Saying, I mean, what
You
has
know,
the?
it's
I know you found people who take this thing seriously, but when you announced it at the planning stage, what was the conversation like, and how did you convince the majority of the room that look, this is where we're going, and this is why it's important?
it was hard, to be honest. It was hard because people are like, you have this, what, maybe 10 hectares or whatever it is of land, and you say you only want to build on 10% of it. How do we get our money back? How is the sellable area only like
Mm-hmm.
20% of it?
Mm-hmm.
People are not, because investors want their money.
Yes.
Investors are looking for, like, which makes sense. But at the same time, it is the understanding of it that it might be
Mm-hmm.
capital intensive, it might be
Mm-hmm.
expensive at the beginning, but it's something that we have to do. It is the right thing to do,
I agree.
basically. So that's where the conversation starts from. And from there, people, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people are buying into Simi now. And we're like, that's
So,
encouraging, actually.
I mean, it's good you raised the CME concept because I wanted you to speak on what the pickup rate is like, and I mean, how far gone are we, and when can we expect it to go live? I mean, we don't have much time left, but I think we should just discuss that, and then we'll just take one last question.
Okay. Oh, Isimi is, I'm actually excited about Isimi. Project kickoff is in March of next year. So we are
Okay.
going live, and the infrastructure development is going to start, and people are going to be able to access the place. So
Mhm.
far we have released Origin 1 for sale, and right now we have sold about 70% of it. So it is moving fast. I mean, Origin 1 is like a cluster, so we're releasing the land area in clusters. So
Mhm.
Origin 1 is the first cluster that has been released. It was released, I think, in June, July, sometime at the middle of this year, and we are already about 70% sold out. So people are really tying into it. People are seeing the vision, they're accepting it. It's something that is going to make a difference, because we really don't have anything like it in Lagos or in Nigeria, really, quite frankly. A living estate that you can have, like your golf
Mhm.
course, your polo course, like that kind of living environment. You have the jetty area, the water goes through it, there are lakes
Yeah.
everywhere. Let me not
Okay.
turn this to
So
a promotion
so
of a
there,
city.
there's no more questions. I've asked everything. But you see, questions aside, as one chief operations officer to the other, how do you manage final product pricing when you've made all these investments into sustainability, getting the right experts, doing your certification, bringing the government in, and ensuring that investors get their return? How do you manage final product pricing?
For real estate, I feel like it is something that value would continue to appreciate. I always tell people that when there's an introductory price on something, just key into it and move,
Okay.
because the moment people begin to see
Mm.
what you're doing, because it's one thing to say we're going to do all these things, and it's
Yeah.
another thing for the things to be on ground. So I think for the pricing of things, we all know
Mhm.
that it is many of these things we're going to reap the benefits, in the long term. They are not things that we can get the what's it called, the profits right away. But then if we're able to tie into these things, and then
Yeah.
moving forward, people are able to see the benefits, they can reap on it long term. And even that's why we're releasing it in clusters.
Okay, so while I have no more questions, I think there's one more question here from the audience, and it says, "Good afternoon, Sean. Does demand for green spaces depend on education slash knowledge about these spaces?" I'll take it again. It says,
Well,
"Does the demand for green spaces depend on the education or the knowledge about these spaces?"
yes, people need to understand it. People, because the norm, right? The norm, especially in Nigeria, is you have your house, there's like paving stones all over the place, right? People don't care. People don't even see the need for these things. So
Yeah.
yes, people need to understand it. People need to be in tune with these things. It is right now it's still like a special request type of thing,
Right.
because that's the norm. That's what we're used to. So yes, the knowledge of it, it influences the demand for it. The more people know, the more people are interested in it, the more they are able to ask for these things. And we are
Mhm.
always, dynamic and innovative. We're ready.
All right, then, Seun Etai, as always, it's been a pleasure speaking to you on this issue, and I mean the other issues that we discuss around your projects. Thank you so much, and do extend our regards to the rest of your team. We'll catch up soon. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Seun. We'll speak soon.
Thank you. Thank
Speak
you so
soon.
much. Thank you.
All right, then. All
Enjoy
right.
the rest of your day too. Bye
I
bye.
will. I will.